Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Really, you know, I'm here to teach myself and nobody else. I'm just bringing a little bit of my opinion of what I saw while I was there. To me, you know, it's really like we're in the age of the rock star imams. And that's not necessarily bad, but, you know, it's the guy that talks the best that seems to get the most attention. First subject I'm going to touch on is basically women. You know, not necessarily rights and obligations. We can all look those up. We got scholars for that. But my opinion of what I saw there. We had a gentleman here just a week ago, Sheikh Khalid Yassin, and I really liked what I heard when he spoke. He's got one quote I want to start out with, and really what it's about is honesty. It's about honesty, because as Muslims, that's what we're supposed to be. You know, you follow a scholar, but you know what? Beyond that scholar, more importantly than listening to that scholar, is you got to be honest. You know, if something's trying to be hid, you got to bring it out. Muslims, you got to, you know, you tell the truth even if it's against yourself. Khalid Yassin had said, if you're not man enough to tell your wife you want another wife, then you ain't man enough to have another wife. We have many scholars today. I spent time in Medina. I was there for 9 months, just got back. And, you know, a lot of my brothers are saying, hey, get another wife, it's cool. You don't even have to tell the first wife. Because this scholar said it's cool.
I've heard that before too.
This scholar says it's cool, right? We can do that. We don't want to hurt their feelings, but we'll be dishonest. And I always thought honesty was more important than hurting somebody's feelings. At the peace conference, I'll say his name wrong. I think it's Saeed Raghia. He's a Somali gentleman. He had a great talk. He spoke about women on the one that I watched, about we need to have women scholars, that, you know, we know the hadith that you teach a boy, you've taught a man. You teach a girl, and you'll teach a nation. Because she will teach her kids, and they will teach, and they will teach. And it was a wonderful talk about this. And then they do a question and answer. And a Somali guy got up, and he didn't really ask a question. The guy got up and he said, he asked him to speak about how it's best for women to stay in the home, unlike the Western women that want to go to work. And you know what? That's what he spoke about. He said, yeah, the women should stay home. And I agree that, you know, a woman and a man have different jobs, they have different duties, and when you want that, it does make the family the happiest when everybody's doing their job and not touching on the other person's job. But if a woman wants to learn, we shouldn't be stopping her. Aisha was one of the greatest scholars Islam has ever had. And if she wasn't allowed to come out and talk to any men, I mean, she came out properly veiled or whatever, but if she wasn't allowed to talk to any men after the Prophet died, we would have, like, half the hadiths wouldn't be there. So, you know, we've got to give them their due in this respect. There's a fine line you got to balance. This is all just my opinion. I'm not a scholar. I just have an opinion, and it is, you know, based on my culture. I'm an American. I've been a Muslim 3 years, but you know, I feel if men and women are equal, then we should be living that and not just lip service. The other thing I want to touch on is interfaith. And you know what? Interfaith is not just Christian and Muslim and Jew and Hindu and whatever. We got a lot of different faiths going on right inside of Islam. And we call them sects. And this sect says that guy's going to hell. And they say that they're the Khawarij and everybody's wrong but us. And really, when you've got beliefs that strong, you really are not exactly on the same thing. I mean, it's almost like different religions in some respects. And I believe that the adab, the manners that we're supposed to have with Muslims, we need to have with everybody. And I find myself, one of my things is, I'm talking to Christians and you know, well, I know that what they're reading is wrong, so I'm really kind to them when they are not so kind to me. But when I'm talking to other Muslims that might have differences of opinions than what mine are, I find myself being rather harsh with them. And this peace conference helped open my eyes in that respect. It was Mufti Menk. He was given a talk about this. I mean, I think he really hit a home run. He was talking about how Islam is not necessarily the religion of peace, but it's a religion that provides you peace through submitting to the will of God. And then a guy got up and he asked him, well, if Islam is the religion of peace, aren't the other religions the religions of peace? And if you really think about it, you know, they are. We aren't necessarily a religion of peace. You're allowed to defend yourself. You know, there are times when Muslims are told to go to war, and it's happened in the past, and we know the prophecy say it's going to happen again. But we're a religion of finding peace, and that needs to be done. You know, the Ummah can never come together as long as the Muslims want to fight against each other and talk about who's right and who's wrong. And we also have to do that with the other faiths, because I mean, even the Hadiths tell us when the Christians label Armageddon happens, it's not just the Muslims all alone, it's the Muslims and the Christians fighting against the Dajjal and his army. You know, we really got to find a way to find a common denominator so that we can all come together. And while we all, you know, somebody wants to put their hands up here and somebody down here, and somebody says, well, let's get together and do some zikrs together, and somebody says, oh no, that's good, you can't do that. The one thing that we really all have in common, and even the other faiths, is love of the Creator. We might have disagreements amongst all ourselves, but really what makes a religion is love of the Creator. And this is, I think, an idea that we need to promote amongst ourselves and amongst everybody so that we can start changing the world. And doing it with honesty, you know? Don't be hiding anything about it. There was somebody asked Mufti Menk about the Hadith. Well, you know, if you're I don't know what his religion was, but I don't think it was Muslim. He said, if you're the religion of peace, what's the deal with this Hadith where the trees are going to say, there's a Jew behind me, come kill him? And Mufti Menk, I think, had a good answer without going into depth because he didn't have time in that situation. He says, well, if somebody punches you in the face, what are you going to do? The guy said, punch him back. He goes, well, that's what that Hadith is about. It's an event that takes place in the future. So he approached it in an honest way, had a little bit of comedy to it so that it's easier to absorb. And for me, the lesson that I really learned at this is more than anything was about honesty. To be honest and be forgiving with my fellow Muslims and with the people of the other religion, you know, because you get on Facebook and they're saying all kinds of bad things about the Prophet, about Islam. They don't believe it. My sister does this. I get so mad at her. But, you know, I got to take a step back and really realize that this person, if they don't change, if they continue to worship the things that they worship, one day they're going to have a really, really bad surprise. And I got to actually feel sorry for them instead of be angry at them. And I believe for myself, that'll help me be more kind to them in my dealings in every day until, you know, inshallah, that we all find a common denominator that we can get behind and join together and try to make things better instead of worse. That was what I learned at the conference. Thank you.